situation, but if you play and pressure her enough, she can't withstand the amount of damage. As you guys can see, the D.Va just being pressured to death. She doesn't have any damage to actually follow up. I mean, like, you know, she doesn't have any damage to actually push. Hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's video. Today's video is a weekly gameplay of some tank action. This is the perfect series for you if you would like to play and learn some tank. Now obviously, Symmetra needs to be banned almost instantaneously on this map. Lijiang Tower is just really obnoxious to go against. And Sojourn, other than that, I really don't mind. I just the other two is just really sometimes your bans really is map dependent, and obviously I don't mind. I don't want to ban Zarya because I would like to also have Zarya as an option. And yeah, so always pick D.Va so people don't ban D.Va. I mean, she's probably gonna get banned because people hate her, but at least if your team doesn't pick D.Va as their first choice, there's actually a good chance that she does not get banned because D.Va is one of the best tanks in the entire game and she's the best tool to have in your toolbox. Sometimes I lose my English, but I hope you guys don't mind. Anyways, Lijiang, we're probably not going to play D.Va in Lijiang. It's Brawly map. Zarya is more, you know, Zarya is more, a little bit more, famous, popular. That's the word I was looking for. But Zarya's banned, so it's okay. We have Pharah. We tried the map, though. It's Garden. I'm thinking about, Reinhardt or even Orisa. We're going to go for Orisa because we can actually get some, cheeky environmental kills. And, if you're a good, reliable Doom player, you could actually go Doom here, but unfortunately the support lineup does not really allow you to go Doom, at least in my experience. There's no Ana, there's no Life either, so I just personally prefer going Doom when I would have an Ana, but I'm not the best Doom anyway. So obviously when you pass the choke, be careful, but I didn't see Pharah, so yeah, be careful to, you know, use your Fortify at the bridge because it's usually Lucio, so to go for cheeky boops and Pharahs. And yeah, now we're gonna hold this angle like if our life depends on it, because this is where Orisa's actually oppressive, because you can get for cheeky plays. The D.Va will try to split our team, which is quite smart, but we're not gonna let her you know, split our attention. We just need our team to pressure the point, and this D.Va will be quite useless. And as you guys can see, because they know they cannot go past this corner. Because they know if they want to go past this corner, they're going to get booped. So they only have really one option, which is either the D.Va switches or they go something like Zenyatta. But as you guys can see, the amount of pressure, it's just about positioning. Holding this angle is all you really need as an Orisa. And keep in mind, they don't, their support lineup doesn't really allow this D.Va to do any much. It's Mercy Life Eater. So unfortunately, we lost a pick here, but we got the res off, so we should be fine. We put it at 1 HP, so it shouldn't really be a problem. We just need to hold this D.Va in check, because as long as this D.Va is preoccupied by me, my Pharah is free. This D.Va is playing wrong, as you guys can see, yeah, because my Pharah will dominate if I keep this D.Va preoccupied. That's the whole idea, really. Obviously, we're gonna go with the right perk, hold every day, any day. We have Coalescence. Try to stun her out of the remake. Okay, she died anyways. Try to deny the res. There you go. As you guys can see, like Orisa, like the Orisa pick really definitely a waste of a bob. It doesn't matter if she survived or not, but that was very a waste of a bob. And we got the res up. I mean, I guess I see the idea. They wanted to deny the res on the Pharah, which is actually a good idea because they would have had a better chance at pushing and the choke. Now we're gonna go for a greedy play. We're gonna let the team deal with the D.Va because she doesn't have remake, and we're gonna hold this choke again. It's all about dominating this corner, really. Let the Pharah deal with the soldier, but he probably grabbed the mega. Now we're gonna play the punt because everybody's here, and we're gonna go with the coalescence, and we're ready to land a really nasty ultimate here. But we're not gonna be, you know, like, there's not really. I didn't. Not really finding the word, but we don't really have to immediately, like, patience is the key, really, as you guys can see, because you can do so much while like doing, well, not ulting, because there's a lot of abilities. I most of the time like to use my ultimate as like an additional additional fortify, or if I, especially against a diva, what divas like to do, they overextend, and they want to escape with their, their boosters, but I use it as a mini grab so I can deny people who's like, especially like for Mercy's, like I let her Golden Angel to me, and then when she wants to Golden Angel away, because some Mercy's like to like juke you with the Golden Angel and then they double jump away, so I use my ultimate as a mini grab to deny the jump, not the Golden Angel, but the double jump after the Golden Angel. She got to forget the end there, but it didn't really matter. So that's, at least personally, that's how I like to use my ultimate. It really depends on the team comp and the matchups. In that matchup, I don't like to use my ultimate just to go for a flashy kill, because most of the time, they will actually have a good chance of surviving it unless you do enough damage that you can finish off with it, unless you doing with a Mercy that actually will damage boost your ultimate so you can charge up fast enough. So that's the way that I operate. I use it sometimes as an additional fortify in pocket, or as a mini grab. As you guys can see, that's exactly how I use it. I literally used that. I used both scenarios in one use. I used it as additional fortify because I was a guide, and I used it as to pull the diva as she wanted to get away. Now the Sombra switch will be definitely good for them. That Mercy definitely messed up, so we're gonna try to mess her up a little bit with her movement, put pressure enough. But yeah, so we know that this Sombra is really good against Orisas. We know that for a fact. So we're gonna. But the thing is, always keep in mind, just because the enemy team is having a Sombra, don't freak out and don't flame the enemy team Sombra. Like, there is a downside of running a Sombra, and that means, and that is, the enemy team will lack frontline damage. That means you can afford to be extra aggressive, and the enemy tank cannot be extra aggressive. They can only follow up on the Sombra's initiation, but if you play and pressure her enough, she can't withstand the amount of damage. As you guys can see, the diva just being pressured to death. She doesn't have any damage to actually follow up. I mean, she doesn't have any damage to actually push through so they can withstand, because he doesn't have a frontliner. A lot of people actually freak out when they see a Sombra, because Sombra is just generally a hated character and Overwatch, rightfully so, but people just see the negatives about Sombra, but they don't see the positives. The positives for you is there is a downside for the enemy team. For any team that wants to run Sombra, it's just like I said, they lack the frontline damage, and especially if you actually be aware of the Sombra and you peel every time the Sombra, don't peel for everything that she does, because it's, at the end of the day, it's a responsibility for your teammates to stay alive against the Sombra, because everyone in this game has good abilities to defend themselves. But there's some key heroes that when she pushes, if you peel enough, you'll make the Sombra use. For example, in this scenario, okay, I was gonna say I'm gonna go into ult, but the Mercy balked, so yeah, really great. I'm gonna try to boop her, but the Sombra came in, so it's okay. The Sombra's gonna pressure the point, so now we're gonna double down on the enemy backline. As you guys can see, if this Sombra in the field, the enemy team will always like the frontline damage to actually just do anything, especially them. And the biggest loser of that, and the most person will feel that downside, is always the tank. Because the tank, if he wants to run Sombra on his team, he wants the Sombra to do something in the backline, either force fight and point, and push a squishy. And so the tank can capitalize on that, and especially Diva. Diva is really good really good to capitalize on something. But if the Sombra doesn't give that Diva stuff like that to capitalize on or put backline pressure, especially if the enemy team knows, as we did, or as we showed you guys, if we know how to play against Sombra really well, the tank is going to end up being poked to death, and while you're just literally, you're in Orisa, you brush off all the damage, but the Diva cannot brush off the damage, has to use Matrix. And if you exhaust a lot of Matrix in the poke phase of the battle, by the time the fight actually starts, she's exhausted all of her abilities. As you guys can see, it's not the worst thing to go against the Sombra. I always tell people that, but at the end of the day, it's Overwatch. You can't really think, you can't change people's opinion, at least it's difficult to. Anyways, boys and girls, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like the video, subscribe, and share with your friends if you don't think you do. And we should catch you guys all into the next one. Bye.